a speedy leg and a beefy leg. It doesn't work. You look at how fat this leg is.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer only worked out the one arm.
Oh, beef versus speed. Okay, I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was curious,
Yeah, so speedy, beefy. I don't know what that symbol would mean, but it's yeah, they're two different kinds of text symbols.
Hello everyone, welcome to One Quest video. I'm Walnuts, and today we're going to be talking about the board game Widgets Workshop. Widgets Workshop is an open drafting set collection competitive card game for 2 to 5 players. Players compete to build the best robots by collecting cards from the pile and matching their attributes the best to rack up the most points for that robot. Developed by Spaceship Games, they label this as a drop style game, as the setup is basically that. The box for this game contains 1 rules book, 1 rules reference sheet, 15 bag cards, and finally 80 gear-shaped parts cards. To set up the game, each player is handed 3 bag cards with point trackers from 5 to 30 points on the top of them. Then you shuffle up the parts cards and hand each player 1 for their starting part. Lastly, and this is where the drop comes from, you drop all the rest of the cards into the center of the play area, all willy-nilly So some cards are face up, some cards are face down, and many are overlapping and piled on top of each other, as you see on the screen right now. Choosing the first player is as simple as figuring out who most recently dropped something. So I would say figure this out before setting up, otherwise the player who's setting up tends to go first. Players then take turns using 1 finger to remove a card from the pile and adding it to one of their bays. You must take the first card you touch. You cannot move cards out of the way to get another. If the card is face down, you then pick up another face down card, again using only 1 finger, and you look at them both. You keep one and you drop the other one face up on the pile. If the card is face up, you keep it, and that ends your turn. Turn then goes around until 1 player has created enough robots. The limit is 4 robots for 3 or less players and 3 robots for 4 or more. Once a player has reached the robot limit, the rest of the players gets up to 3 turns to create the same number of robots. For instance, if the limit is 3 robots and you have 2 created, on your first turn of the final rounds you craft a 3rd robot, you no longer have a chance to play. If the limit is 4 and you have 1 robot created, then you can possibly get 3 more robots depending on your bay setup. Each bay has space for each part of the robot: the torso, which includes the head, the left and right arm, and left and right leg. When you draw a card, you need to place it in a bay spot that matches the body part. If you already have a part in the place, you can replace it by taking that part out of the bay and moving it back onto the pile. Once the part is placed in the bay section, it cannot be moved to a different bay. Besides the body part, each card has 3 different traits a player is working to match. Elements are on the top of the card. They can be fire, wind, water, and earth. The robot's archetype is shown on the bottom left and can represent strength or speed. Lastly, the makeup on the bottom right of the card represents if the robot is an organic or mechanical nature. The goal is to match the same part style across all 5 of the robot part cards in a bay. Each trait can earn up to 10 points and scored as soon as a robot is crafted. The basic scoring is 4 matching traits get 5 points and 5 matching traits gets 10, for a maximum of 30 points. If you have a robot that has 5 fire, 3 strength, 2 speed, 4 mechanical, and 1 organic, you gain 15 points for that robot, 10 points for the element, 2 for the archetype, and none for the makeup. Once a robot is completed, you stack the cards and you can see what your robot looks like, as well as what its name would be called, as all the cards are translucent and will stack. You then place the crafted robot in a space that matches its score shown on your bay cards, and that frees up a bay to start crafting a new robot. You can have multiple robots with the same score, so just stack them in a way that you know how they're scored. To be blunt and straightforward, this game wasn't the most in-depth and intriguing game to us. Not to say that it was a bad game, however, the game isn't really for the more seasoned board gamer. The box lists a 14 plus age range, but I could easily see a 10-year-old being able to play it. Not to say that a game for children is bad, but it felt like we weren't the target audience for this game. The rules themselves were quite basic, and as we were playing, I was looking for a way to make the game more challenging to match our skill level. The cards themselves being see-through, as you started to learn what the card types looked like, it became easier to tell what you needed when looking at the cards face up, and to guess easier what they were when they were face down. Myself being a completionist, I didn't work on 3 robots at once. I would have rather just done one robot at a time, and having the ability to swap out parts made it easy to do that to match the traits I was looking for. I would suggest adding a level of memory to the game, making all the parts face down and always drawing to. When placing the part back, place it on the pile face down. Also, maybe not allowing the free exchange of parts. Maybe have it be a 2-to-1 where you have to exchange 2 matching traits or body parts to keep the new one, or just not allowing swapping of parts unless all your bays are full. That is the joy of board games though. Even if the game itself doesn't suit your playstyle, you can easily add house rules to make it click more. This game is perfectly fine rules as written, but for myself, I needed a greater level of toughness. I do plan on bringing this game to game nights for players who are more low-key, less experienced, and the footprint and size of the box makes it very easy to travel, but unfortunately this isn't a game I will consistently play with the basic rules, and will probably add some house rules even with the more low-key players. Overall, this game was a fun time, but it is hard to give it a proper review or grading when it just doesn't match your group's playstyles. If anything you heard here or saw in the video sounds interesting and fun, I suggest looking into it from Phase Shift Games, maybe visiting your friendly local game store to see if they have a copy to play it and try it out. The barrier of entry to this game is pretty low, and seeing what silly names the robot is fun. Just unfortunately, if you match all the elements, the names just tend to make sense, so we never really got anything ridiculous. We really appreciate Phase Shift giving us this opportunity to play their games, and we really hope you enjoy it and get a chance to check it out. And I'm going to link to their website in the description below so you can find it. That's it for me here. If you want to see a more in-depth vlog of our play session, I will be posting a vlog style Let's Play over on my channel, so please keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, I think that's a show. If you'd like to see more of our content, check us out on facebook.com/OneQuestOnline, at Instagram and Threads at _Quest, and on Blue Sky at one-quest.com. And be sure to check out and listen to PodQuest on Thursdays every week, where all podcasts are available. See you all next time.
You can't like do that to get.
And whatever one you touch first.
This was the one I touched.
That's the one you touched first. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. It's just you didn't let go. Like.
Oh no, my finger just slid off it as I was trying to pull it out.
Benny,
This
is your dad
was the one I
trying to
wanted.
cheat? Is your dad trying to cheat, Benny?